Hi, this is Gina Lazenby, and I want to talk for a few minutes about the changing nature of the world of work. As I speak to you in the summer of 2009, the world is going through so much upheaval. As we see the banking systems all crumble, so much change, huge global credit crisis. And people are predicting about when this will get back to normal, and I don't think there is a normal that we'll get back to. I just think there will be change, and there's an old way of doing things, there's an old order, and there's a new order coming into being, because what we were living at all levels of business and life has been unsustainable. So we need to look at how business can be more sustainable, and I actually feel that women have a role to play in that, or more of a role to play than they've played before. We look back at the history of business in the decades or the 1 or 2 centuries where corporations have a history. They were set up by men, masculine structures. And now as we look and see how those organisations can be reformed, there is an opportunity for women to come in with a more feminine thinking, and men to come in with a more feminine thinking, and look at how business could be done differently. And when I talk about feminine thinking, I'm talking about a way of working which is more focused on collaboration than on competition, and having everybody win than just a few, which is a more masculine way of working. And I believe men are as capable of working in a more collaborative environment, but women are obviously more adept at that. And of course there are women who've been in a corporate environment and deeply steeped in the competitive way, because that's the only way they've been able to survive. So I think the shift is it's less gender and more a feminine way of working that will be adopted by men and women. Also, I think that business has been done where you've had strong leadership, people have followed, there's a top-down command structure. I think that's changing, and more people leave the corporate environment. Thinking about the late 90s, in the UK, over 50% of people were outside that corporate structure. Either they were unemployed or they were doing their own thing. And there are so many more people now doing their own thing, working as a consultant, working from home, having some kind of internet business, having a small enterprise. There's a huge shift in towards doing that. And in doing so, everything we do is much more collaborative in working together and creating networks and meshworks and business communities. Whereas before, mass of people worked within a structure and were told what to do. So it's very much a way of working I think that will change. And women being, as I say, so much more adept at relationship building. Interestingly, there was some research this summer published, and it was a group of male and female teenagers. Their brains were scanned as they looked at they were given a number of relationship situations, and an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging scan, was done on their brains, and the results showed that the young women were much more focused on one-on-one relationships, while the males, their brains showed that they were much more focused on being part of a team or a gang, and where they sat in the pecking order. Really, that's how business has been done. You know your place in the system. And what this research was showing about the female brain and its predisposition to relationship building, that's definitely a skill women have, and men too. But it's something that women do have, and I really feel that's going to be so much more important in business. I also think that women need to recognise that the skills they have in homemaking, child rearing and family development and community building and all the social groups and communities that they're involved with, all the skills they have around that, enormous skills, extremely valuable skills, and they can be brought into business so that businesses can be created which are more nourishing. There's a lot of research to show that when an organisation makes changes within their system and their working practices to make them more women-friendly, so that they retain a high level of women employees instead of having a talent drain, when they do that, they make the organisation a much better place for everybody. So anything that's done to make it more acceptable or conducive a working environment for a working mother actually helps a working father as well. So that there are things that we can do to create business environments where women can have a greater hand in making them more pleasant and more efficient and more sustainable working environments and places to work. I also think that some of the things that women do in terms of, I suppose you could call them soft skills, but I think they're invisible skills of the creation of an environment, the creating an emotional environment, creating a place where people can feel they can express themselves, feel listened to, feel they can develop their potential, feel they're part of a community. As I say, less emphasis on competition, more emphasis on collaboration. Women are extremely adept at that, and I think if they move forward and did more of that in business, then that would be, that much better for business. I think that would be a great boon. Also, there's a shift from the way of running an organisation, which was kind of strong leader, top-down, command and control way of running an organisation. I don't think that works anymore. And so as we look at creating this new order, this new way of working, we're looking at bringing together, enrolling groups of people, making things happen by not telling people to do things, but by inviting them and enrolling them and bringing them on board. Again, I think those are great skills that women have. And so I feel that in a new business environment where more people are working from home, more autonomous, building business meshworks and communities, feminine skills of collaboration and relationship are really going to be at the fore.